Throw it!
You're not getting away this time.
Do you remember the safe word?
We never had a safe word.
The FBI agents interrogate an informant with inside knowledge of Hector's and Adrienne's arms-dealing network, but she refuses to say more, only skimming the surface. One of the agents grows visibly impatient, accusing her of playing games. She insists she's not hiding anything and says she's only worried about their safety, warning that the building they're in is not secure. Agent Williams offers her water and goes on with the questioning. When the other agent offers to detain her and take her into protective custody, she accepts immediately. He reassures her that they have eyes on both Hector and Adrienne, with one confirmed to be in the country. This detail only heightens her alarm. Seconds later, gunfire erupts. The standing agent is shot dead instantly, followed by several others throughout the building. The informant and Agent Williams dive for cover, but when Williams tries calling for backup, he realizes the officers outside have already been taken out too. He motions for her to move toward him, but before she can warn him, another shot rings out. Williams is hit square in the chest and tumbles down the stairs. She rushes to his side, pressing down on the wound to slow the bleeding, then scrambles to improvise a homemade bomb using whatever she can find. She hides just in time, and moments later, Adrienne slips quietly into the room and eventually corners her in the bathroom. She fires the last bullet she has, grazing his hand. Adrienne freezes when he sees she's pregnant, then his expression darkens. He draws a knife and plunges it into her stomach, making fall to the ground in agony. At that moment, the bomb detonates, engulfing the room in flames and taking Adrienne with it. Through sheer will, she drags herself up and turns on the shower, letting the water shield her from the spreading fire. After she gives birth to a baby girl, Agent Eleanor shows up to tell the mother that she can't possibly be given the child to look after, as she already has a mark on her. The mother believes she's capable since she killed Adrienne, but the agent explains that his body was never found, and they can't confidently say he's dead.
You and I both know the only way you protect that child is to disappear.
And if I don't?
They'll find you, both of you.
She adds that the FBI can't protect her since her delay tactics exposed the agents to the assault that took their lives. She hands her the document terminating her parental rights and tells her to sign it when she's ready, then leaves. The woman breaks down, brought to tears. The mother later meets the recuperating Agent Williams and states her wishes. Put the child with good people, update her on the kid's safety every birthday, and call her if there's ever a problem. As she watches the baby one last time, she denies being the mother when someone asks. She makes the long trip to Alaska and meets Jans, who advises her to get a job with some ranchers and use her military skills, but she rejects it, still lost in her sadness. He takes her to a solitary place, where she warns him to act like he has no idea who she is. 12 years later, the mother is hunting in the snow when Jans shows up and startles her. At her apartment, he hands her the kid's picture and an envelope, even though it's not her birthday yet. But she notices a coded message of invitation, so she takes the next flight out. After Agent Williams picks her up, she's eager to know if the kid has run into trouble, but she's been summoned for something else. Hector's men were found and arrested, and the officers discovered the kid's picture in their possession. She tenses for a moment, then asks for the girl's name, and the agent tells her it is Zoe. She goes to the kid's school to see her and watches from afar as she moves around and meets a lady, Sonia. She even watches their house at night. The next morning, she takes a vantage point and watches the kid play in the park with other children, but she notices a van pulling up in a way that feels suspicious. She sets up her sniper and looks closely, realizing one of the men has a tattoo she remembers clearly. When they move in on the girl, she shoots several of them cleanly. The man with the tattoo still gets through, shoots the kid's mom in the arm, grabs the girl, and escapes as more men arrive to zero in on the shooter. He finds her spot and begins searching the parking lot, but she crawls under parked cars, trying to get out while he fires at them to force her into the open. She punches through the bottom of an old truck, climbs inside, jump-starts it, and drives backward, crushing him. As she tries to flee, policemen arrive, block her, making her exit the car and jump off the parking lot, landing safely where Williams is waiting. She blames him for not securing the girl properly, but he explains how he did his best to keep the child a secret. He says they'll wait for a ransom call, but she knows that won't happen, and promises to kill the bastards and return the kid to her parents. With officers gathered at the house, she's allowed inside to take a quiet look around the kid's room. She has already had the agent prepare passports for both herself and the girl so they can travel to Cuba for the rescue mission, posing as a married couple. They travel to Cuba and find Yanel, with the woman cornering him and demanding to know where the kid is. As Williams arrives, Yanel's men show up too, driving a knife into the agent's back and creating a commotion that allows the top lieutenant to bolt. She gives chase while the agent defends himself against another knife attack, killing his assailant. She pursues Yanil through streets and buildings. Moments later, she grabs a bike and intensifies the chase while Williams closes in on him. She crashes the bike into a car, and when the driver steps out to shout at her, she beats him and steals his car. She joins Williams in the pursuit, racing through a busy street. They corner him at an open wedding ceremony, and she collides with him, sending him crashing to the ground as the wedding guests scream in fear. They take Yanil to a warehouse and tie him to a chair. She begins punching him heavily with a thorned wire tied to her hand, but Yanil shows no signs of revealing the kid's location. He laughs after every blow and calls her Hector's whore, vexing her and forcing her to change tactics. She removes the spiked wire, drags his clothes to cover his face, and pours a drink over him, which chokes him into spilling where the kid has been kept. She knows a trap has been set for her, but she resolves to go in, rescue her child, and return her safely to her family. Yanil laughs at her and threatens that Hector's plans for the kid are extreme. Enraged, she kicks him, sending him falling to his death. They return to their lodge, and as she tends to William's knife wound, he places her hand on his chest and asks an important question.
Feel that? You could have let me die, but you didn't. You saved me. Why?
You gave me water at the safe house. It's like you knew I was thirsty all the time. You were taking care of me and my baby. Felt like a man worth saving.
Williams wants to know how she got roped into all of Hector's and Adrienne's business. She explains that Adrienne trained her as a sniper in the army, but he took a personal interest in her, probably because she had no family. Adrienne told her about the side deals he ran, supplying arms to an Uzbekistan army general, and he tried to integrate her into the system. She declined because she didn't want to be his employee. She stuck to the job at hand while positioning herself to offer something more. She found Hector, who siphoned guns, and immediately saw a chance to use his stash to cash out big, so she involved Adrienne and gave him a deal. But she noticed the men were hiding something from her. When she dug deeper, she found young people who were about to be trafficked. That was when she called the FBI. Williams asks who Zoe's father is, but she only says the kid is hers and not for any of the men. They gear up and arm themselves, then quietly make their way to the location Yanil had given earlier. The mother is sure the kid is in there somewhere, so she starts taking out the guards one by one from a distance. Agent Williams joins in clearing the guards, giving her access to the compound. Hector, unaware of what's happening, stays in his room performing some religious act. The mother enters the building and tells Williams to kill the power. Before he does, a guard almost catches her, but she senses it, hides in a corner, and shoots him. More men fall to her gun, and then the power goes out. She finds the room where the kid is being kept, killing men along the way, and carries her out. The girl has no idea who is rescuing her, so she screams for help, but the mother tells her to stay calm. Her maternal instincts kick in when they see dead bodies, and she covers the girl's eyes. They move down, and the girl runs to Agent Williams when she sees him. He urges them to leave, but she says she has unfinished business and heads back into the building. She steps into Hector's room, and he points a rifle at her, ordering her to throw down her gun. She complies, and he rants about how she sold him out after everything they built. He asks if the kid is his, but she doesn't answer. He says he keeps dreaming about the day she would pay for all her sins, and that day has come. She calls his bluff, but he tries to act tough and gets too close, promising to get her in the mood as he touches her roughly. The mother headbutts him, stabs him aggressively, and sets the place on fire. At the airport, Zoe can't stop staring at the mother, who keeps stealing glances back. Even during the drive home, they maintain the quiet exchange of looks. Zoe already suspects that the woman who saved her is her biological mother, and searches online for ways to confirm it. During a brief stop, the mother offers her a few items, but acts strangely toward her, making Zoe question if she really is her mom. She simply tells her that the FBI will handle things from here and starts to leave. Williams blocks her, asking why she's running away and going into hiding again. She softly suggests letting the girl enjoy her life and her youth before quietly walking away. The agent and Zoe get back in the car to continue their journey, and she voices what's on her mind.
Why won't she just admit it?
What's that?
That she's my mother.
Zoe, let's just get you back to your real family, okay?
Williams starts driving, and as they pass her, Zoe turns back and waves with teary eyes. The mother, unable to wave back, holds her tears until the car is out of sight, then breaks down, crying and recalling the stages of her pregnancy. When she jolts back to the present, she notices a bike just in front of her, and a thought comes to her. The next morning, while driving, the agent tells the kid they're almost there, and a cheerful chat ensues. Suddenly, a car rams into them, causing an accident. Men step out and drag the injured agent away, while the kid gets out on her own. Adrienne arrives, and his men force the agent to kneel before him. He looks carefully at the kid and asks about the mother. Just then, she shows up on a bike. Adrienne, realizing Williams is an FBI agent, shoots him in the head. In response, the mother sets the car dripping with fuel on fire, causing an explosion. She escapes on the bike, somehow managing to get the kid on with one hand. Later, at a cafe, the kid demands to know who the bad guys are and what they want. The mother tells her she's too young to handle the details, but explains that they'd want to use her as a bargaining chip. She hands the kid a toy and tells her to go use the restroom. Then she copies Sonia's number, trashes the kid's phone, and calls Sonia to inform her that the kid is safe and that she'll be keeping her until things settle down, even though Sonia just wants to see the kid. When the kid returns, she demands her phone back, but the mother tells her to get into the truck she's just bought. They drive off together. She arrives in Alaska but makes a brief stop at Jan's, and they talk in coded language about what's coming. As she drives the kid back home, Zoe proves she's smart after picking up on the coded messages the two adults exchanged in the shop. At home, she takes Zoe hunting, but the moment she shoots a game animal, the kid screams in protest. She even refuses to eat the meat, saying it came from violence. She explains to the kid that everything she's ever had as a meal definitely came from violence. The next day, the mother takes her out to teach her some survival skills, telling her it's her only ticket out of the situation. She starts with a driving lesson, then takes her hunting again. There, the kid plays with some wolf pups until the adult wolf appears, growling. The mother tells her to run, and as the animal comes after her, she shoots at it. Zoe is devastated, thinking she killed it, but the mother reveals she didn't use live ammunition as she only shot to scare it. They're back home, and Zoe goes wild, trying to take a smoke, but the mother stops her, telling her she's still a kid and can't be doing adult things. Zoe insists she wants to go home, then points a gun at her, trying to force her to let her leave. The mother wants her to toughen up and even tells her to go ahead and shoot, but Zoe can't. She takes the gun from her and tells her she's only keeping her safe. The kid repeats her question, but she reinforces her stance.
Zoe, the answers are tough. So there's things in this world that you don't need to know yet.
What things?
Please, I'm here. Whatever the question, that's your answer. And it's the only one I got.
Much later, she returns home with a knife and teaches Zoe how to kill an enemy with it. She takes the kid outside and continues her shooting practice. Back at the house, Zoe asks if she misses Williams and if she loved him. She admits she misses him and maybe loved him. They go back to hunting and find an injured wolf. Zoe wants to help the animal, but the mother insists they let nature take its course. That night, she brings a meal to the wolf, and the next morning, she feeds the pups and plays with them. The mother shows up after searching for her and finds her having fun with the little animals, but one pup bites Zoe, prompting the mother to fire a shot to scare them off. She takes Zoe to a clinic for treatment. Later, she discovers that the kid gave them her real name, breaking the protocol for staying hidden. She hands Zoe over to John's and tells him to look after her, knowing they'll come knocking at her door. As she leaves, Zoe makes her displeasure known, saying she dislikes her, but it doesn't stop the mother from leaving. That night, Adrienne and his men arrive in trucks. Jans informs her of their approach, and she tells him to take the kid and run. Zoe shows up, wanting to know the plan and reminding him not to speak in code. He tells her they'll have to keep moving until it's safe. She complains that her mother won't even admit to being her mom, but Jans advises her to watch and understand that for someone like her, she'll only show love through actions. Zoe searches through the old man's belongings and finds pictures of herself from when she was a kid. She also finds a letter from her mother, expressing her love in the only way she knows how. The letter talks about the intricacies of her existence and reminds her to use all she's learned when the time comes. Touched, Zoe climbs into Jans's truck and heads off to meet her mother. Adrienne appears on the snowy ground with his men, telling them to take this fight seriously and that he has to be the one to kill her. As they begin searching the area, they step on a mine, causing an explosion. Adrienne warns them to watch for mines and orders them to continue on foot. She kills one of the men and takes his clothes as a disguise. Adrienne then bombs the building, thinking the kid will be a casualty, but a report comes in that a child was seen driving a truck. Adrienne quickly heads in that direction, and the mother follows on a snowmobile. Zoe crashes into a truck and continues running on foot, but Adrienne's men catch her. The mother arrives after a high-speed pursuit, instructs Zoe to jump from the vehicle, takes out the enemy, and carries her to safety. She brings Zoe to a vantage point, and when the kid insists on firing a gun, the mother makes her track instead. Zoe does it perfectly, helping her mother spot a rival and take the shot. Adrienne radios in and shines a pointer at the kid, threatening to shoot her unless the mother shows up. The mother tells Zoe to run as far as possible while she surrenders to Adrienne.
It'll take me 2 minutes to get down there. I distract him, you run, no matter what. You hear me?
I can cover, I really can.
No. These have been the best months of my life with you. No matter what, you run.
She meets Adrienne, who orders her to throw her gun away and questions why she brought down everything they built because of the kid. She rushes him, and the two begin fighting. Meanwhile, Zoe doesn't run. She stays back, ready to shoot. The fight is intense, with the mother now wielding a knife. Adrienne gains the upper hand, grabs her from behind, and orders Zoe to shoot at both of them. She does, and the shot sends both mother and Adrienne crashing down the steep slope, with the mother hitting her head on a rock, then sending her unconscious. As Zoe runs toward her, Adrienne grabs her and takes her away. Seconds later, the mother wakes up to find a wolf staring at her. She checks herself and realizes Zoe didn't fire a live bullet, making her smile. She slams her hand on the rock to realign a bone, picks up her gun, and aims at the moving car. She fires, but the shot only hits the roof, prompting Adrienne to smirk in triumph. Gathering her courage, she fires again, but the car continues moving and she screams in frustration. Moments later, the car stops, blood dripping from Adrienne. Zoe pushes him off and runs to her mother, who embraces her in tears. She takes Zoe back to Sonia, and before stepping down, the two share an emotional hug, professing their love for each other. Much later, Zoe is playing when she notices her mother watching her with a device. The mother raises her head, pretending to shoot her. Zoe acts as if she's been hit, then lets out a bright smile, which the mother returns. Moments later, Sonia and her husband walk toward Zoe, and together, they all walk away. And that, my friends, is how it ended. If you've made it to the end, hit the like button, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next recap.